What we're seeing really is this posturing over these 2 points which really don't matter in the scheme of things. We're told that this is the divorce bill that they're talking about, and Theresa May's offered £20 billion. We've had this rather woolly from the EU, oh, it's 50 billion or maybe it's 100 billion. Well, it shows that they actually don't know what they're talking about because they can't tell us exactly what it is. But the other thing that we really need to be thinking about is, if this is a divorce bill, who are the children? You know, because in a divorce, you always look at the children. And I think what we need to think is that the businesses of Europe, the people who make money and who trade, are the children, and they're the ones who need to be looked after in this process.
So you are saying it is actually the EU that is responsible for this deadlock rather than the UK?
I think that's the way it's appearing, and I think, you know, if I was a manufacturer in Germany who sold primarily to Britain, or I produced my wines in France and I wanted to sell to the British market, I'd be very annoyed at Michel Barnier right now for being so stubborn. I mean, one of the other issues that they were at deadlock with is about the rights of EU citizens in Britain after we've left, and vice versa, the rights of Britons in the EU. But I mean, at the end of the day, are we genuinely saying that people who are living in Britain should have more rights than the British people themselves? Or are we actually saying that a foreign court should have jurisdiction over people just because they live in Britain? If I move to America, would the British government have rights and a say over me living in America? Of course not. It's absolute nonsense. So Barnier, get on with the job or move over for somebody who will.
But despite the seemingly gloomy news from the podiums in Brussels, there was still time for a few laughs this afternoon.
Mr Davis, given the risks arising, should you be spending money now on a no-deal scenario, or is the Chancellor not being gloomy enough?
A good, mutually beneficial deal overall. But if that's not possible, a government has to be ready for the alternative. So as the Prime Minister said yesterday, the UK is planning for all outcomes, and when money needs to be spent, it will be spent when it needs to be spent.
If I may, on the first point, the risk of a no deal. A no deal will be a very bad deal. On our side, we will be ready to face any eventualities, and all the eventualities.
You have consistently talked up progress through these past 5 weeks. You don't appear to have got much progress at all.
Well, first thing, I don't really recognise some of the circumstances you describe, but there we are.
You both pride yourselves on being good negotiators. What are you doing that's so badly wrong?
You want to start with this one?
Okay. Il faut sortir de cette impasse. Voilà. Et après, nous pourrons avancer assez vite sur tout le reste.
Right. There are points of tension in all negotiations, just like any other. There's been more than one so far, so that's no surprise.